Allah states in chapter 3, verse 102, A'udhu-billahi minash-shaytanir-rajim, O ye who believe, O ye who believe. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, O ye who believe, He's speaking to the mu'mineen or the mu'minat, or those who are striving to be of the mu'mineen or mu'minat. This is the believing men or the believing women. So whenever you hear Allah say, O ye who believe, O ye who believe, right? Whenever you see this phrase, okay? And again, part of the classes we're going through tafsir as well. This is not just a rinky-dink class. We want to get you into tafsir, knowing what some of the Sahaba said as well. Ibn Mas'ud, and I want you to write this down. Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu an, or A means radiyallahu an. Okay? Ibn Mas'ud was one of the great Sahabas. Ibn Mas'ud was one of the great Sahabas, and Ibn Mas'ud and Ibn Abbas, both of them said that there's not a verse in the Quran that was revealed, but they know why it was revealed, when it was revealed, and what it means. So Ibn Mas'ud was one of the great commentaries of the Quran, interpreters of the Quran. Ibn Mas'ud said that whenever you hear Allah say, Ya hiladina amanu, or O you who believe, he said, pay close attention. Pay close attention. Because either Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is forbidding you from something, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you to do something, or He is enjoining you to do something. Right? And if you're striving to be a believer, then you will follow this with some type of action. Because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there is no iman, which is faith. There is no iman without amal, which means actions. There is no iman, there is no faith without amal, without actions. Okay? You can say that you believe. Anybody can say that. I believe. I'm a Muslim. I'm a believer. You can't tell me. That's okay. It sounds good. It sounds good. But the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there is no iman without amal. There is no faith without action. So therefore, if you don't follow this lip service with some type of action, then it doesn't mean that you believe. Your belief is manifested by your actions. Okay? So Ibn Mas'ud, he said, whenever you hear this phrase, "Oh, you will believe," pay close attention, because either Allah is forbidding you from doing something, or Allah is enjoining you to do something. And if you're striving to be of the believers, then you will follow this commandment with some type of action. Because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there is no iman, there is no faith, there is no belief, faith and belief, same thing, without amal, without actions. Okay? So in this ayah, in chapter 3, verse 102, because we're just going into the khutbah al-hajjah, okay? Allah says, "Oh, you who believe." So Allah is speaking to the believers. "Oh, you who believe." And if I'm striving to be a believer, then He's talking to me, and I'm going to pay what? Close attention. Right? "Oh, you who believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and do not die except as Muslims." Right? Chapter 3, verse 102. Right? Now if we use this rule of thumb, right? We use this rule of thumb, what Ibn Mas'ud said, "Oh, you who believe." So now I got to pay close attention, because I want to be of the mu'mineen. Because the mu'mineen are those who say from adab al-nar or adab al-jahim. He said hellfire. Okay? So I'm going to be of the mu'mineen because I don't want to be punished in the grave. I don't want to be punished in the hellfire. So I want to be of the mu'mineen. So I want to pay close attention. "Oh, you who believe." Right? Fear Allah as He should be feared. So the first thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in this ayat is what? Fear Allah as He should be feared. Right? Fear Allah, period. No one else. Right? Allah says, fear Allah as He should be feared. Ittaqullah. Fear Allah as He should be feared. Why should He be feared? Because He's the one that's in control of all things. He's the one that's in control of Maliki Yawmid Deen. He is the authority of the day of judgment when we stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we decide whether we're going to heaven or hell. He's the only one that's going to decide whether we do this. So therefore, He is the only one deserving of fear. He is the only one deserving of making a istighfar or asking forgiveness or making tawbah or crying to. Fear Allah as He should be feared. We don't fear man. Allah says they fear me, don't fear men. But they fear man as they should fear Allah. But fear me. Okay? So we fear Allah as He should be feared, period. So therefore I have to, if I'm striving to be a believer, then I have to try to figure out what is the characteristics of Taqwaa. Because this is what he's talking about. Taqwaa. This is fear of Allah. Right? Taqwaa. We got to figure out what Taqwaa is. Right? Fear Allah as He should be feared. Who could tell me what Taqwaa is? What's Taqwaa? Or what are some of the characteristics of Taqwaa? Taqwaa. What was the whole purpose of fasting during the month of Ramadan? To acquire Taqwaa. Right? Remember we talked about that? La'allakum tattaqun. Right? So here we go. Taqwaa. Everybody write this down. Okay? Taqwaa. Right? Allah says, and fear Allah, ittaqallah. And fear Allah, have taqwa of Allah as He should be feared. So the objective is what? To have taqwa of Allah. Ittaqallah. Have taqwa of Allah. Fear Allah as He should be feared. We're told that taqwa is a shield. Because you're shielding yourself from the wrath of Allah. So taqwa means to shield yourself, as my Imam used to teach me. He said it means to shield, to put up a shield, to block something. So if I have taqwa, I'm trying to shield myself from the wrath of Allah. So I shield myself, so I guard myself. I do all the things that I need to do or not need to do to shield myself from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is taqwa. Also, it means to shield myself what? What's the opposite? To shield myself what? From the tricks of shaitan. Right? Also, to shield myself what? From the tricks of shaitan. From the tricks of shaitan. I have to shield myself. Okay? Oh, you will believe. Fear Allah as He should be feared, and do not die except as Muslims. So He says, have taqwa, meaning to shield yourself. Right? It also means to guard yourself. Right? From what? Same thing. Guard yourself from the wrath of Allah. Guard yourself from the tricks of shaitan. Taqwa. Right? Shield, guard, protect. Also means to have fear. Right? When you fear something, if you fear something, you're going to pay more attention to it because you fear it. If you don't fear something, then you don't, there's no threat or no consequence. Okay? Because you don't have no fear. If I tell you over and over and over again, hey, if you do this, this is going to happen to you. But you keep doing it over and over and over again, and there's no consequence. There's no fear. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, if you do this, then this is what happens. Now, if we do these certain things, and then immediately after that happens, the consequence comes, the reprimand comes, then we understand that it is real, that yes, it's real, the consequence will come. This is taqwa. Okay? This is taqwa. Even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala threatens us with a punishment that will come later, this is belief in the ghaib. This is belief in the unseen. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in this ayah, oh, you believe, right? Fear Allah as He should be feared. And what's the next part? He said, fear Allah as He should be feared. And then the next part is, and do not die except as Muslims. So the second part is what? Because if I'm striving to be of the believers, I'm striving to be of those whom He's talking to in this ayah. He says, do not die except as Muslims. That's what the ayah says. It doesn't say don't die as a believer, don't die as except one who believes in the oneness of God, right? It says do not die except in the state of Islam. Do not die except as Muslims. chapter 3, verse 102, those who just came in. Okay, again, Allah says, oh, you believe, fear Allah as he should be feared, and die not except as Muslims. So this is a commandment from Allah subhanahu to not die except as a state of Islam. Do not die except as Muslims. This is a commandment from Allah subhanahu. This is not an option. Okay? Who can tell me the chapters and verses where Allah subhanahu said that he will not accept any other religion other than Islam? What chapter and verse?
3, chapter 3, 85.
All right, good. Chapter 3, verse 85. Everybody write this down. If you have a Quran, highlight it, asterisk it. Okay? This is your dalil. Everybody knows what dalil means? Right? Dalil, your proofs, points, and evidence. Right? For those who don't know, dalil, we call it the PPE for short, right? Which means proofs, your points, and your evidence. Right? And it must be from the Quran and the Sunnah. So anything that we say, any type of evidence, any type of dalil, any type of proof, any type of evidence, any type of point that we want to make, we must have our dalil. You must have your dalil, you must have your proof, and it must come from the Quran and the Sunnah. Okay? So our dalil, our proof to prove that do not die except as Muslims, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not accept any other religion other than Islam, is in chapter 3, verse 85. Okay, and Allah says, A'udhu billahi min shaitanir rajim. And if they come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with any other religion other than Al-Islaam, it will never be accepted. And the word that Allah used was lan. Lan, which means never, ever, ever. Okay? It said it will be never accepted, and then hereafter there'll be a khasirin, which are the losers. So again, Islam is the only religion that will be accepted. Let there be no doubt as to that. Okay? Do not die except in the state of Islam. We are Muslims. We understand the reality that Islam is the only religion that will be accepted. Once we have this reality of this, then we must understand this. Chapter 66, verse 6. Again, Allah states, O you who believe, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. O you who believe, save yourself and your family from the fire whose fuel is men and stone. So again, Allah speaking to the believers, all you believe, save yourself, right, and save your family from the fire. Okay? So if we are Muslim, we know that we cannot die except in the state of Islam. We know that Islam is the only religion that will be accepted, right? So thus I understand that Islam is the only religion that will be accepted. As me being a Muslim, it's my responsibility to save myself, right? And I save myself by what? Acquiring knowledge. It becomes incumbent upon you now to acquire knowledge if you want to save yourself. If you don't understand your religion, you will not be able to save yourself. Now when I save myself, I acquire knowledge, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, then I must save my family. Okay, now it becomes an obligation that you tell the people around you, whether they're Muslims, if they have an improper aqidah, an improper understanding, then it's your job to try to save them. If you have family members in your family that are not Muslim, it is your responsibility to warn them, right? And if you're not profound or prolific in talking, then at least show them by example. Show them by example. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith that verily the best da'wah, and everybody knows what da'wah is. Let's just say that you don't know. The best da'wah, and da'wah means calling to the deen, right? You're a caller, a da'wah, or one who is a da'i. A da'i is one who calls to the deen. So we say we're giving da'wah to the people, calling people to the deen. The Prophet Muhammad said that the best da'wah is not by lip service. Okay, it doesn't matter about you talking. You can talk all day. Say this, say that, right? Just like a parrot. A parrot can talk too, can repeat things, right? He said, but the best da'wah is not by lip service, but the best da'wah is by example. So the best da'wah is not by lip service, but the best da'wah is by example. The best da'wah is by example. So not talking about it, but being about it. Don't tell me about salat. Show me how to make salat. Don't tell me that I have to guard my prayers. Show me that I have to guard my prayers by you, by myself guarding those prayers. So I'm showing my family, I'm showing my wife, I'm showing the children. So be the best da'wah, or give the best da'wah, or be the best da'i by the example. Okay?